Hello and welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK. I'm down by my wildlife pond in the wildlife corner of my garden, and today I'm going to create a little environment to try and encourage slow worms and or grass snakes or adders. Let me show you what I'm going to do. Now this is nothing new, it's something I've seen on other channels. I remember seeing a video I was watching about a guy on his allotment, and he had some weed fabric down in a corner of the allotment where he didn't go very often. And he went over to that corner of the allotment and lifted it, and there was a colony of slow worms underneath the weed fabric. So I'm going to use my soldering iron to just cut a piece of this woven weed fabric off, and then I'm going to take it to the back of the wildflower meadow and leave it there. I'm going to weigh it down with some bricks. You'll see me doing this in a moment, and hopefully if there are any slow worms in the area, they might be encouraged to stay in my wildlife garden. There are slow worms not far from here on the Wirral, which is about 20 miles away, so I know that they can exist up north in the UK. Right, soldering iron, and this is a brilliant hack actually for cutting this weed fabric, because not only does it cut through it, but it also welds it. It stops it from fraying. So it's a great way of having this weed fabric without having all that stringy woven nylon type stuff all over the garden. I apologise if you can hear an aeroplane flying over. It's a Sunday and they seem to come out in their droves. Look at that. It's slicing through the weed fabric. I'm doing this in the open air. You can get these in my Amazon storefront. It's surprising how many of these have actually sold. They're not expensive, but look at how easy that is, just slicing through. You don't need a big piece, but you'll see in a moment what I'm going to do to make it a good environment for snakes and slow worms, or both. Now that there, the edge of that is welded together so that it won't fray. Ideally, you want to choose an environment where there's very little human traffic, which is why I am going over the back of the wildflower meadow. There's a dense, mature hedge there. Beyond that, there's an open field, and beyond that open field is a canal, so it's all the right environments. The hedges provide a kind of a wildlife corridor for the wildlife to enter the garden. I'm going to be very careful up here because I have recently discovered hedgehogs in my garden, so I don't want to do any damage to their environment. Now this next bit really couldn't be easier. I've cleared a bit of earth, a space in the wildflower meadow, just big enough for this piece of weed fabric. And then I'm just going to lie a line of bricks up the centre. And by doing that, when I then put the weed fabric back in place, you can see there that it's elevated. Now, if I put bricks on this end here, in a line, and then I give it some tension up at the far end, you can see it's kind of creating almost like a little tent. And it's that tent area which we hope the amphibians or reptiles will crawl underneath. Now this is black, so it will absorb the sun's rays. It's self-facing. Don't worry about the reptiles overheating. When they warm up sufficiently, they'll crawl out and go and do their thing, which is usually hunting for slugs and snails and frogs and stuff. But it's all about adding another different environment to the garden. And I'll be able to come out here periodically. It will be largely left alone, but I'll be able to come out here periodically, just have a peep to see if there's anything going on. Now this, of course, is not an area for things to hibernate. I've built a hibernaculum for that, and you can see a video on the hibernaculum on my channel. This is simply an area for slow worms, snakes to crawl under and rest in the cooler parts of the day until they warm up. Reptiles and snakes are cold-blooded, so they need heat from the sun to warm up so that they can be active. Hope you've enjoyed that. Please don't forget to check out my Amazon storefront. Anything you buy there, I earn a small commission from, and everything goes back into my garden projects, and it doesn't cost you anything. So what have you got to lose? And I do appreciate your support. I'll see you soon for some more slow worm and snake adventures. Bye for now.